This meeting is being recorded.
All right. So. Hello. Lots of new faces. Well, I guess it's your same old face, but like new people with faces that are in here. Yeah, Amira, that's my daughter. And might as well be my son-in-law. Might as well be. They've been together since they were like 2. So, y'all ready for this? Everybody that was not on the orientation session, has everybody seen it? Has everybody seen it? Everybody? Looks like everybody. And you actually showed up anyway? Crazy fucking people, man. They were on the orientation session and they still showed up for more. I just wonder about you. I'm just saying. So, everybody say aloha to Nicholas, who is sitting in the pyramid right now.
Nicholas.
Hello, Nicholas.
He's from San Diego, and all over the world.
Aloha.
All right, let me mute everybody.
Brian, did you notice we are couch free?
What? Let me see. Couch free, huh? Damn. Oh my God. You know, holy shit, you people listen to my advice, you got to watch out because life might start to get more awesome. Be careful with that. So, oh yeah, what am I doing? I got to get my notes up here. I'm sorry. I'm so organized. And yeah, you guys just have to deal with my lack of organization. I never did say this will be the most organized experience you've ever had. I never told anybody. I just said it would be awesome, right? I didn't say anything about organized. So I have an idea about today. And now let me get back to you. God. I know I can do this. I can have my notes and the meeting up at the same time. I just know that I can. Whew. I did it. Oh my God. Okay, now we can do something here. So I made a decision halfway, and I just now am making it complete. I'm going to make this a bonus session today. So this is supposed to be a 12-week program. I have a really bad habit of doing this. It could be an addiction to over-delivering. I might need help with that. Or actually what it is I realize I got some stuff to share. And over these last few days, that feeling that I have about making this the ultimate program ever for myself and being that we're all myself, my focus has been on how to help you get more out of this program than anything you've ever done. Sounds cool, right? That's not a bad idea. And I thought about how far I got with covering that information last week. And some things that I would like to cover before we get into doing spell breaks. So there's a good chance that some of you came to this session, ooh, I hope he gets the spell breaks today. And ooh, I hope he picks me. And ooh, I'm going to make sure, okay? Anybody kind of like ready to get the spell breaks and kind of like I would like to be worked on and have some, okay. Few people. I may or may not get to spell breaks today. I may or may not. I may just get inspired. Someone might ask a question and it might open up. That's happened before, right, John? Might happen. And maybe not. But since this is a bonus session, I get to do whatever the hell I want, right? Because it's a gift, so I can do anything I want. I can just sit and look at you all day. And if you're breathing deep, and I just looked at you for the whole session, if you were breathing deep enough, you'd end the session and say, man, I don't know what we did, but that was the best session ever. I feel amazing. Something changed in me. So I'm joking and I'm not joking. If it's a bonus session, I can do whatever the hell I want, right? And you can't really complain because it's a freebie. It's like, it doesn't count towards our sessions. So I'm going to get down to my notes. And before I dive into that, I want to ask a few questions. Who here has watched the 2 breathing videos? So, in the pinned post, in the main post for this program, I put a link to the 2 breathing videos that are from my book. Who has watched those at least once? Who has watched those more than once? Who's watched them recently? Okay. So some people are like, oh, I'm in Conscious Creation Program. I already watched those, Brian. Right? Somebody, yeah, I already watched those. Listen. That breathing ain't everything. It isn't. It's not everything. And it's so close to everything that if you ain't got that breathing, you're wasting your fucking time in this program. I mean, don't get me wrong. We're going to have some mind-blowing shit. It's going to be fun, dirty jokes. I may talk about blowjobs or, psychedelics. There's just no telling. We'll have fun. But, I mean, if you're just here for fun, please leave. I'm all for fun. Don't get me wrong. But this is not called the Level 5 Fun Program. Fun is just part of it. Okay, Pam? Is that cool? Haven't we all done enough self-help programs that sucked? That were marketed as amazing and then they suck? Haven't we done enough of those? Haven't we done enough even the ones that didn't suck? Haven't we done enough self-help programs that were mind-blowing and fascinating? Haven't we done enough mind-blowing? Because, hey, listen, mind-blowing, right? Oh my God, I went to that thing and it was mind-blowing and I got home and nothing changed. I was no different. This is not the Level 5 mind-blowing program. I put a word in that title. It's called liberation. And that may seem too far-fetched for you. Does it? Is it possible? Is it even possible? And if it's possible, is it realistic to expect that it might happen? What do you say, Peter? Is it? I mean, is it? It is, isn't it? It's actually, yeah. So, being that you're convinced that you either are a body or you have a body, and being that you're convinced that you're either on a planet or that the planet is part of you, and then you notice that you have this thing about breathing, right? And if you haven't ever, I recommend that you do this experiment at least once in your life. Have someone who you really love handcuff your hands behind your back, and then put a plastic bag over your head and tie it really tightly around your neck for 4 or 5 minutes. Just try it once, just once. I don't actually recommend that. I'm just saying. But now see, some of you, like, that actually made a point, didn't it? You're like, oh, wait, when you put it that way, I'm not going to do that. I better be careful. Some of you kinky fuckers will try it. The handcuff part, you're like, yeah, sign me up. So, why would you not have someone handcuff you where you couldn't reach your head and then put a plastic bag over your head and tie it really tightly around your neck? Why not? Think about it for a second. Not the obvious, well, I know why, Brian. I don't have. No, think about it for a second. I dare you. Why not? Got it, Rex? That would suck, wouldn't it? To not be able to breathe at all? Anybody ever had a moment when you couldn't breathe? How'd that shit feel? Well, then why the fuck aren't you always breathing as much as you possibly can? Charlotte said, it's almost natural now. Breathing is almost natural. And then when I said, why wouldn't you do that? She said, because I would not do that to myself. Well, guess what? Almost all your life, you've been breathing way less than your body actually requires. Way less than your brain needs to be fully switched on. You know, you get into the woo-woo shit and people have all these breathing techniques, right? There's that one when you stick your thumb in your butt and you breathe in through this nostril for 47 seconds. And you have to make this noise with your tongue on the right. You know that breathing technique? You guys have seen that, right? It's called pranayama. I don't advise it. People are learning all these advanced breathing techniques. Like, fuck, learn to breathe first. Brian, I don't want to do your group program. I'd like to work one-on-one with you and learn how to levitate. Learn how to get along with your fucking family first. So I recommend that we start with the fundamental foundational shit of life and get that working. Crazy, huh? Anybody ever run a marathon on quicksand? Because when you ain't breathing and you're trying to live your life, that's what you're doing. Anybody in a hurry for me to get to the good shit? I'm telling you, this is the good shit. You let it in. Let it all the way in. Oh, wait. Okay. Before I go work on my advanced masturbation techniques, I'm going to master breathing. Before I go try to get that certification in certified law of attraction master. I'm going to learn to fucking breathe and function semi-sanely in life. I just love bonus sessions. I get to do whatever the hell I want. And y'all can't really complain because it's like, oh shit, bonus session. Hate it when he does those. So, everybody's agreeing to breathe, right? And to master this breathing, to make it priority number one, because it is. Anybody ever check to see how many days you can go without masturbating? Has anyone ever counted and checked? Because it's a lot. You can live. Anybody ever see how many days you can go without coffee or tobacco? Or man, it's a lot. You check to see how many days you can go without food. If you haven't mastered breatharianism, you know how long you can go without food. 30, 40, 50 days, you're dead. How many days you can go without water? A few days, you're dead. And it sucks. It's not like, oh, I'm great for 4 or 5 days and then I die. No, it fucking sucks worse every second without the water. And then you're dead. Now, put a plastic bag over your head, handcuffs behind your back. Tie that bag real tight. Have someone do that for you because you can't with your hands handcuffed. See how long you make it without breath. Or just go underwater wearing concrete underwear. You find out quick. Now, what if I told you that you've been in a state of partial drowning for the last few decades? You think so? Some of you are already nodding. You think so? I'm asking, do you think so? You think there's a possibility you've been in a state of partial drowning? 100% voluntarily. Without really knowing it. It wasn't your fault. I don't believe in fault. So today, if you start today and you really commit to that breathing and you watch the breathing videos like 4 times a week, you'll probably only forget it 10 or 20,000 more times before you master it. And before any of you think, I don't watch that shit. I listen to you enough on the session. You talk for hours. I don't know. Watch that video again and again. Andrea, who is on the session, and she's been in like every Freedom 7 that I've done, I think now, and come out to Hawaii twice with me. She wakes up in the morning and she watches my Money Freedom Process 2.0. It's a 45-minute video. She watches it every day when she first wakes up. There she is. Don't you, Andrea? Every single day. You're like,
every day, and then followed by Model 3. And then sometimes by the last 20 minutes of the Freedom 7-7 inside. So that's about it. Is it worth it? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Every freaking time. Every.
Thank you, Andrea.
Who would have known, right?
Who would have known? That guy's shit works. Thank you, Andrea. Now, so Andrea, just so you know, it doesn't matter. You broke up part of the time, but it got through enough. Thank you. Okay. So it it ain't about the fact that it's Brian's shit, or it's not anything like that. It's what works. It's about what works. Okay. You really take a good look at your life and you ask, how well is everything working? And before the end of the session today, I'm going to give you a couple things that you can do between now and the next session that is going to be so revolutionary for you to be able to be more aware than you've ever been about what ain't working. And it's going to be a step towards making everything work. So, you know, if name something in your life that doesn't require breathing. Name something. What you got, Rich? Huh?
Holding your breath underwater as long as you can.
Okay, but you would have to be breathing in order to be alive so that you can hold your breath underwater as long as you can, fucker. Ha! Smart ass. Okay, is there a way I can just kick them out? Do I want to kick Kate out? Because that wasn't even, that was just Rich. All right. No more having couples on because I can't eject one unfairly. So, can't believe he said that. So there's nothing else that you can do that doesn't require breath other than holding your breath. And you'd have to be alive and breathing in order to hold your breath. You think it's possible that, I don't know, maybe the more you breathe, so if there's an ideal level of breath, let's just say, do you think that the closer you are to it, the more enjoyment you would get out of everything else? And if there is an ideal level of breath, and why does it matter? Only because every cell in your body requires the breath to come in and out of them. Every cell in your brain, every cell in your liver, every cell in your lungs, every blood cell, all those cells in your left pinky toe that you never think about, every one of them requires the air to flow into them and out of them consistently. They require it. Do you really want to continue neglecting your left pinky toe? Let's be honest. So then, do you think that maybe breathing closer and closer to the optimal level for the health of all those cells would somehow be beneficial? Do you think like you ever, okay, so some of you said you have felt panicked before. You have felt unable to breathe for a minute. You've had that, right? You've had that. You know that feeling like I'm dying? Okay. How much of that do you prefer to have in your daily experience? Okay. You ever felt absolutely fucking awesome? Anybody ever had like an earth-shaking orgasm? Anybody ever? Yeah. You ever notice that like when you start to come back to consciousness after, anybody ever notice you're breathing? Okay, so let's actually, like Natalie said, let's actually do the breathing. It's great to talk about. You'll get more out of everything. So see, Natalie knows, because if your mouth isn't doing this, for that breath to come out, busted. Now, all of you who paid through PayPal, I set up a special deal with PayPal, and I wasn't going to say anything about this until the 10th session, but I'm going to go ahead and say it now. At the end of the 11th session, I'm going to go through every session, and I'm going to actually watch and see who was breathing. And if you weren't doing this breathing for those first 11 sessions, I've got an arrangement. PayPal will let me completely drain your PayPal account into mine. And some of you that have bank accounts linked to PayPal, I'm going on vacation. Might be worth asking, why up until now was I refusing to do that fucking breathing? You don't want to linger on that question. Might be just a great glance in the rearview mirror. So I'm going to go there for a minute. Might as well. When you were little, all those traumatic moments, being told no, yelled at, frowned at, hit, kicked, smacked, listening to parents screaming in the other room at night when you're laying in bed, all of it, all those emotional moments, all of them. When you breathed in and you didn't breathe it out. And then all the times that you ever got a little bit too excited and they shut you down. And every time you got a little bit angry and they shut you down. Every time you tried to express your fear and you said, I don't want to go to my room by myself. Could you walk with me? And they say, oh, you stupid little fucker. Go, you go right now or I'll give you something to be scared about. And every time you got really sad, you cried, and they said, similarly, you little fucker, I'll give you something to cry about. Every time you got shut down, you learned very, 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 very unconsciously and very masterfully, you learned, when I breathe big enough, my emotions come up. When my emotions come up, they shut me down. It's not safe to express my emotions, therefore it's not safe to breathe. Now, Nicholas and Ron got here a couple of days ago, and sitting with them, I noticed right from the gate, and doing the work that I do, this is evolving every day. You know, no matter what you do, if you did something every single day and you paid attention, which would require breath, you would begin to notice things that nobody else has ever noticed, right? Well, when you focus your life on transformation towards the direction of liberation, and that is your only filter and priority, you can notice some things. And I've been noticing some things. And this picture keeps evolving for me. I said, you've put more time and more energy into mastering how to not breathe than you have put into anything else in your entire fucking life. So I'm going to go ahead and say that to you, and you just try it on. No matter what you've done, no matter what courses, college courses, no matter how many degrees you have, no matter how many certifications, and even if you can do a quadruple backflip off a balance beam, I still stand by the fact that you put more minutes and hours into mastering how to not breathe than you've put into mastering anything else. You willing to consider that? It's one thing to hear me say it. Okay, Brian, get to the good shit. I'm enduring your fucking breath lecture for the 400th time, but could you get to the good shit? Don't do that. Actually hear what I'm saying to you. I'm asking you a question. Are you willing to consider the possibility that perhaps you have put more time and energy into mastering how to not breathe than you've put into anything else? Are you willing to consider that possibility? Anybody have inclination it might be true, even if it's crazy as hell. Maybe I've... that would be like, I don't know, maybe worth contemplating for a moment. And if breath is the key to existence in a body, that would matter. Hence my endless droning on the topic. So, why? Because you know that if you breathe big enough, you're going to feel those feelings. And you know that if you breathe big enough that you feel those feelings are going to come up. And you didn't know how to let those feelings reliably and consistently come out. Got it? So I'm going to give you the simplest, bestest news that you ever done did got. Here it bees. If you're breathing big enough and you don't know spell breaking, you don't have Brian around, if you're breathing big enough and you start crying and you just keep taking large inhales, right, Mira? Just while you're crying. You do the one thing you've never well, there's two things in life you've never, ever done. You've never taken a shit while running at top speed. That's one thing you've never done. Ever. I'll bet you money you haven't. And I don't know where this crap comes from. I just am the mouthpiece for it. The second thing two of you didn't even smile when I said, I thought that shit was funny. But the other thing you've never done, anybody who doesn't take this fun, that's funny. This is not the program for you because it is going to just go downhill from here on and on the whole time. So get your refund quickly. The second thing you've never done is while you were crying, take really huge inhales on purpose. And if you simply do that, you don't need a course, you don't need a trainer, you don't need spell breaking. Spell breaking is just like the ultimate scientifically optimized method for getting all of that emotion out mentally, physically, emotionally, on every level out of everybody simultaneously. Just breathe bigger. Just breathe bigger. Bigger inhales so that the emotion can come out on the exhales. What if I told you, anybody ever done ayahuasca? Only a very few. Okay. So if you research ayahuasca, you're going to find out that purging and puking is, some people call an ayahuasca ceremony, they call it the purge. Okay. There's so much puking that goes on, right? What if I told you that you could even do ayahuasca and all of the toxins and all of the stuff that comes up to come out, you could breathe it out without having to puke? What if I told you that? How cool would that be? I've done it. What if I told you that tumor, you could breathe it out? Now, I don't mean, that's not what I mean. I mean, you can unmake it. It's only showing up it's just energy showing up as a tumor. You can breathe it out. What if I told you that psycho bitch girlfriend that you've attracted 22 times in 22 different bodies over the last 50 years? What if I told you could breathe her out? Now you're going to bitch about my joke, Natalie, and then you're going to like, dude, okay, all right, fine, okay. She just breathed a mole off her butt. I don't want to say much, but that wasn't a mole. And that's all I'm going to say. So, continuing on. You can breathe it out. Erica, you can breathe out all those habits. Breathe it out. That self-sabotage, everybody, you can breathe it out. Now, let's get started. My definition of the universe that I'm proposing to you. Uni, one, verse, song. The universe is one song, one sound, one buzzing emanation of infinite being. Ultimately, every point in infinity is the center. So everything in the universe is actually the universe. There are no things. There's no separation. So you're it. I'm it. And we're one. Namaste is the infinite, unlimited light in me that I am, sees the infinite, unlimited light in you, and recognizes that it's the same light. I'm you, you're me, we're one. And the universe is the reflection and the projection. Let me rephrase that. What you call your universe, what you perceive to be your universe, Laura, is the reflection and the projection of everything that you think and believe that you know, reflecting and projecting on an infinite dimensional screen, not like a 2D movie screen. It's projecting on a screen of everything, which is actually just light. And everything that you're seeing and experiencing is the reflection, the projection of what you think and believe that you know. And the shit that you keep seeing and experiencing that you don't enjoy is not happening to you. And it's not badness, and it's not some giant cosmic other than you with power outside of you trying to make you pay for anything. No. It's just you're looking at what you believe, and it keeps showing up so that you can decide whether you want to keep believing it or not. In a way, it's saying, excuse me, by the way, there's a whole lot of sadness right there inside of your lungs. Are you going to continue carrying that? I'm showing up to give you an opportunity to feel it. And you say, no, I will not feel you. I'd rather say, you mean motherfucker that's making me feel sad. It is you causing me to feel this feeling. If you stop that shit, helps if you're breathing. Because if you're breathing, you'll be more present. If you're more present, you're more aware of what's actually happening. Those things that happen that make us feel anger and sadness and fear are not making us feel anger and sadness or fear. They're bringing up the anger, sadness, and fear that's already inside of us so that we can become aware of it. And if we so choose, breathe it out where it becomes infinite possibilities once again. And every bit of anything that returns back to infinite possibilities is more of our resources, and we're more capable of recreating everything the way we want it to be. Well, now, all of a sudden, I don't know about you. Well, when you hear that, Denise, Veronica, when you hear that, and you get the sense, that actually makes weird sense to me. Like, yeah. When you get that sense, Does it inspire you to create more war or less? Does it inspire you to defend yourself more or less? To attack others more or less? To blame others more or less? Or to blame yourself more or less? Okay. So, one of the notes that I wrote down as I was being inspired about this, leading me to doing this as a second part of the orientation session, as a bonus, so to speak. And I didn't have to do that. I could have just taken the arbitrary decision to just, oh, well, I'm going to make the second session is going to be second half of the orientation. I could have done that, but because I'm awesome, I decided to do it as a bonus, and then we can get into spell break stuff next week. The necessity, this is what I wrote down, the necessity of choosing peace, the necessity of forgiving all that is. So I've talked about this many times, and I feel like doing a complete download of something one time for you, that if you follow along with me when I do this, and if you breathe, I know that's a new concept. If you breathe deep and you follow along with what I'm about to do, and then you take this might be one of those, this next piece I'm about to do might be one of those things that you want to take the recording and edit it out, or, you know, like do a screen recording of this next several minutes here. Some of you that are really fanatical and actually want to be free might want to transcribe this. So I want you to pick not yourself, the person that you fucking hate the most. Don't be spiritual for a minute. Just pick the person that, if you were to really think about it, if you were, and those of you that have been spiritual for a while, I know how holy and pure you are, you sweet little thing. You. And if you've been working with me for a while, you know you don't hate anybody, right? But let's just pretend you do. I was talking to these guys, and I'm not going to say who they named, but it was Trump. I'm not gonna say anything about Nicholas and Ron saying it was Trump, but because I wouldn't want to say that out loud. But for you, it might be Trump. It might be Obama. It might be Macron. My French is a little crusty and dusty, but whoever it is, pick somebody that, makes you scared. It might be me when I talk about breath all the time. Pick the person you hate the most. Pick the person that you are convinced is the most evil, you know? And those of you that are too spiritual for that, just pretend, would you? Pretend. Because you ain't done all your forgiveness work. No, you ain't. Not all of it. Okay, you willing? You willing? The more you can pick someone that you could have some irritation with, the more you're going to get out of this, I'm telling you. Ready, Karen? All right. Think about what they did. Think about what they do. Now, if you want to close your eyes, feel free. Just make sure you travel along with me all the way here. If I were born to their parents, under the stars in the zodiac of chronological, geological, geographical time and space that they were. Because you know what the astrologer asks you, right? What time were you born? What date and where? Right? They may ask some other questions too, but let's just start with that. If I was born to their parents, the time and date under the stars that they were, in the hospital or in the home where they were born, or on the bus or whatever the hell it was, to the parents they were born to, in the emotional state that their parents were in at the time of birth, with all the emotions that passed through their mother in the womb. And I was born through that out of that womb, through that vagina, into that room. And then I received the injections and the cold metal tray, and was taken away from my mother into some nursery that they were. And then I was programmed with every thought that they were programmed with: religious, spiritual, cultural programming, parental programming. If my mom cheated on my dad the way their mom cheated on their dad, and if I was beaten and abused and ridiculed and embarrassed, if I learned all the control mechanisms and manipulations and how to be safe that they learned, and if I was sure that I know everything that they're sure that they know, and if I had every repressed emotion that they have, and I felt everything that they feel, and then I found myself in the situation that they found themselves in, I would have done exactly what they did. So keep breathing. Can you deny it with a straight face? I would have done what they did. I would be being who they're being. I would be acting like they're acting. I would be holding the facial expressions by habit that they do. I would do the fucking comb over that they do. I would lie and cheat and steal and manipulate and control and maneuver and posture and pretend exactly the way I do. Yes or no? Don't fuck around. Either say yes or say no, or just don't get it. Your choice. Yeah? All right. The more you give yeses to things like this out loud, the more you actually will get out of the experience. Believe it or not, just try it on. Now, those of you who got that, okay, let's just take a moment. We don't do this very often. Let's do this. Everybody type in a comment about what you feel right now, what you're thinking, whatever it might be. Some of you that have worked with me, you've done things like this with me in the last several months. I don't give a shit. Type in a comment. Let me know. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? What are you getting out of that? What's up for you? Sadness. First answer. Keep breathing in. Compassion. Keep breathing in. Presence. Keep breathing. Resentment towards the enemy for time lost. Anxiety. Sadness. Keep breathing. Revelation. Calm and centered. Who typed in horny? I'm just kidding. Sadness. Release. Forgiveness. Forgiveness. That's always good. Love. 4-5ness. Okay, I got it. Better understanding of their actions. Peace. Yes. Always knew this stuff since I was a kid. Hard to hate anyone when you get why they did it. I've seen the shit he went through, so I understand and was able to let it go. I love him now. Clear. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Now, isn't this wonderful? Isn't this awesome? Okay. What if you were to contemplate this for 12 seconds? And I'm joking about the number. I don't give a shit. What if you were to contemplate this for a second every day? What if you had a little touchstone, a little something somewhere in your house that you just, every time you thought about this, maybe a little altar, a little forgiveness altar, a little compassion altar, that you just had a stone or something you touched. Ah, that's right. If I was, then I would. Right? Keep breathing. Those of you who are still feeling heaviness or sadness or any of that, breathe deeper. Continue this. Because I'm going to tell you why I actually took you through that process. It wasn't to get you here. It was to get you to the next piece. You ready? Is Crystal nearby, Michael? Oh, there she is. Okay. So now, Rosemary just said I turned around back to me. So let's turn around back to me now. That means that I'm raised under the stars I was raised under, born to the psychopaths I was born to, which I created the whole illusion of this whole thing. Raised in that home of madness. programmed, learning the mechanisms and the machinations and the posturings and the pretendings and the control techniques, the intimidation, the victimhood, all the manipulative techniques and tendencies. And then, you look at that other again and you say, if I was raised by them and I would do what they did, right? Right? Take one more deep breath and consider. It's not just that if I was born to them. They are me, born to those parents under those stars with those programming and that's me under those circumstances. This is me under these circumstances. That's me under those circumstances. It's all fucking me. Hello. How far will you let yourself go into that? How much will you let yourself get that? Will you do that with your ex? Because what I'm talking about right now is the necessity, the absolute necessity. But only if you want to live and be happy and create the life you want. Otherwise, you're welcome to carry that blame around. Don't touch my bag of blame. I carry this close to my heart. I use it many times a day so I can feel good. If you want to live in a body, you got to breathe. If you want to live happily in a body, you've got to choose peace and you've got to forgive. Everybody for everything. Anybody got any resistance? Yeah, I've got some resistance. See, one of the things is we think, well, if I forgive that motherfucker, they will have gotten away with it. I mean, I've got to make them pay. Every superhero movie says the bad guy has to get it in the end. You ever consider that when you're believing the bad guy gets it in the end, you ever consider how many times you've decided that you were a bad guy? You guys don't know what I'm talking about, right? No, he's talking about them because obviously this is not appropriate. This is not about me. I hope he gets to the good shit. Anybody got any trace of any part of them that has ever felt or believed that you were a bad guy? Deserving punishment at some point. There's going to be some inevitable, oh, fuck, shit, oh, hell, that's coming eventually, right? Especially those of us that were raised under a loving God. My Father in heaven who loves me forever. And there is inevitable punishment coming. I don't know if I'm going to hell or not because I did that whole accept Jesus thing, but I'm not sure I'm going to be in the good seats. I might be like way up in the back where I can barely even make out. Is that Jesus down there? Wait, that's Moses. Cheap seats of heaven for all the partially bad boys and girls. That time you masturbated? Yeah. So, forgiving. Who has done all the forgiveness they could ever forgive, and you know beyond the shadow of a doubt you don't hold a speck of a trace of anything towards anybody, including yourself? How much longer are you going to carry that shit? So what if there was a really, really simple way of doing a forgiveness sweep for everyone? Now, there still could be deeper stuff to do. I'm a huge advocate of radical forgiveness worksheets by Colin Tipping, Radical Forgiveness Institute. It's easy. Search for a radical forgiveness worksheet, print the fucker out and do it. With all your heart and mind, pick somebody and do it. However, and at the same time, consider this. If I was born to the parents they were born to, under the stars they were born under, at the time they were, in the situation they were, mentally, emotionally, physically, culturally, brother, sister, all the shit that was going on in their lives, all the programming they had taken on, everything they think they know, everything that they believed was true, all the pain and confusion and delusion that they were under, and I found myself in the circumstance they found themselves in, I would have done what they did, and that is a fact. And the more you reflect on that while you're breathing deeply, so that it can get past all of your walls and defenses and that stubborn, stiff fucking diaphragm that you haven't moved in 30 years. You can do that anytime you want. And it'll usually make that come out. That old air that's been down in the corners for 30 or 40 years still smells like the pissed off you had when you breathed it in and didn't let it out. You can literally just think this thought and feel it. You know what? I forgive everybody for everything they've ever done. And being that I understand that they're me, I forgive everybody for everything they've ever done, and I forgive everybody for everything they will ever do, because they're only doing what they do based on what they feel they have to do to survive. Even if they seemingly do it to me. Suddenly, there's something crazy happens when you forgive them. You actually realize you forgave yourself because they're you. Quit deluding yourself. I forgive you for everything you've ever done and everything you will ever do. But Brian, what if I don't care. But no, really, Brian, what if I don't care. But Brian, I'm actually, during the course of this program, I'm one of those people that paid $200 to join, and during the program, I'm going to have $1 million come in. And then in my scarcity habits, I'm going to cling to it and not pay any more into this program like I said I would. I don't care. That's you, not me. You can't hurt me. You can't take me. You can't take advantage of me. You can't harm me. You'll be the one carrying that shit around. All right. Y'all doing all right? Anybody waiting for the good shit? So, I'm going to rearrange my notes a bit. We're going to have a little bit of fun. Just a little bit, though. We don't have too much fun. another note that I made when I was thinking, okay, what do I really want to share, really get across and help everybody to get some stuff out of their cells and into their cells before we get to the work play of this program. And I had a really cool inspiration about some things about words. So we're going to do something that you could call word clearing. Y'all good? Word clearing, okay? We have been programmed with language, right? Programmed with language to a great extent. Many of the words that affect us most, like a lot of spiritual people say, oh, words have power. No. Intention has power. Words are sounds, similar to farts and squeaks, you know. Pickle. I mean, pickle. Pickle. What the fuck is that? Who came up with that? Pickle. Cheese. Cheese. Yeah. You say a word 500 times and you'll get it to a point where you'll be like, number one, why am I doing this? And number two, you'll be, wait, what did that word mean that I was just saying? Right? And some words, if you say them enough times, you realize how strange they sound. Prestidigitation. 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 What the who came up with any of this shit? It's lines and squiggles on paper with dots and curves. And it's in sound that doesn't have any fucking meaning whatsoever, except for the meaning that we picked up that those words have. And some of those words appear to us to carry a lot of weight, right? Like if I was to say slut to some of you, a couple of you would get very turned on. I love that. And some of you be like, asshole. Oh, yeah. Right? Sometimes it depends on who says it and under what circumstances. Get over it. Just breathe. So, here's a couple words for you. Respect. Think for a second. Now, what am I doing right now? Clearing some words, okay? We're just moving some energy that you've attached to words. If you have that energy freed up, you're going to find things being lighter and easier. Okay, so respect, respect, respect. What does the word even mean? You know what? Most of us, when we hear the word respect, we don't, even if we use it, we don't actually mean it. It's respect. You respect your elders. Respect this. Respect that. Right? Right? Most of us hear and feel the connotations of words without any presence to the actual word that we're using. That's why if I say slut, some of you just cringe. You can't say that word. Because when it was said to you, it meant you were bad and in trouble and dirty and going to be rejected. But it's slut, slit, slot, sloot, slight. Now, I know I'm in the early part. Anybody get anything out of that yet? Anybody get any speck of anything? If you didn't, I'm not surprised. It's okay, but I'm just checking. So some people did already, okay? Slut or slight? I mean, really? Oh, but that word makes me gonna die. But slight, that's okay. That's fine. You say that one again. Why is it if I mispronounce Niger as nigger, somebody's going to want to fucking kill me, but I can say cracker? What? Who's engineering that shit? One of the best things any of us can do, and that would be you and me, is to unsubscribe from all of it. Responsibility. That's your responsibility. Or responsibility. Oh, you mean I had the ability to respond to that in whatever way I want? Responsibility. Same word, isn't it? But one of them, I'm convinced somebody's going to kill me. Do you know how many times a day you cringe or smile or chuckle or feel relief or terror as a direct result of someone saying a word? Oh, you say, not me. That's just because you're sleepwalking through it. Love. Love. What does that word mean? You ask 1,000 people, get 1,000 definitions, but that's not true because each one of those people has at least 5 uses of the word love. Blame. Check in and see if there's any part of you that believes there's got to be somebody to blame. When the topic comes up, the minute the topic comes up, well, who's to blame? It's probably the person who's responsible. Now I have an experiment. I'm going to go a little further with this. I have an experiment for anybody and everybody who actually wants to be free. And experience their freedom. If you have one of those dictionaries in your house, remember those things, what do they call them? Oh yeah, books. They call them books. The pages and shit. Okay? Dictionary. If you have one of those, use it. If you don't, it would be worth going out and buying a couple of go to the old bookstores and buy a couple of the big old dictionaries. Do that. I'm not kidding. Those of you that are too lazy for that. Dictionary.com. Okay, it's all right, fine. Now check this out. Write down a list of random words. 20 words. Some of you are like, that's such a great idea. I love he's talking about this. I'll never do that. Did I just read your mind? Let's be honest. No, don't admit it. Write down 20 words. And then get you a spiral bound notebook or whatever you want. And then pick the first word. And then go to at least 2 or 3 dictionaries, minimum 2. And write down every single definition for that word. Every one of them, handwrite, every one of them. Then contemplate every definition. And then use the word in a sentence with each definition. I'm going to be very silly and very specific for a moment. So the word pickle, okay? You find out 2 definitions. I don't know, maybe there's 3 or 4. I haven't looked up the word in at least 3 hours. But if you look up the word pickle, okay, so there's going to be at least two. One is a vegetable, usually a cucumber, soaked in vinegar until it's preserved, with a long shelf life, and it's usually sour. It might be with other spices or whatever. That would be one definition. Another definition would be like a tricky situation or a kind of a trap. Or he was in a pickle, right? Okay. So you would write down your definitions, and then you would use the word in one or two sentences. So you might write a sentence. Boy, that's quite a pickle you've gotten yourself in. And he handed her, with a glint in his eye, a curvy pickle. Whatever. Okay, you can have fun if you want. I don't recommend it. I just do it myself. Another thing, if you really want extra credit for this, I will buy gold stars to put on your paper. Write down a little bit of the etymological history of the word. Like, based on the root pick from, Gaelic. I don't know shit about history, but you get what I'm getting at. So it's from Roman. It's from the Roman, blah, 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 blah. Now, if you do that and you really contemplate that word, and you do that for 20 words, you have no idea the difference it's going to make in your awareness, in your comprehension, in your vocabulary. What that will do to branch out other things is mind-blowing. You're going to look at language from an entirely different place, and the deeper you go with each word. Now then, you go back to the first three words and do the same thing with every word in the definitions. So you wrote down all the definitions, right? Now do the exact same thing with every word in the definitions of the first three words. I've done it with hundreds of words. Hundreds. Watch what this does. Those of you that are crazy enough to do it. Clear you some words. Oh, I had no idea that meant that? I've been using it like. Next piece of this is opposites. Listen to me. If there are words that are opposites, that thing that the opposites point to doesn't exist. Everything that has an opposite doesn't exist. Hot and cold doesn't exist. Warmer and cooler do. Hot and cold doesn't exist. Big and little doesn't exist. Bigger and smaller exist. As comparisons, I see some very confused looks out there. Why is he even talking about this? And what the fuck is it? We're talking about waking up from the dream here. Freedom is being awake from the dream. Language is one of, if not the most powerful tool you created to hold yourself prisoner. Last piece. Oh, and I could go for a while with this. Last piece. Oh, two more pieces. I'm sorry. One is, let's look at one group of opposites. Right and wrong. Good and bad. Better and worse. Best and worst. And the good old spiritual classic, positive and negative. If you had any idea of the extent you have been imprisoned by the thought structures inside of your mind that are all hinged on the scaffold of good and bad and right and wrong, better and worse, best and worst, and positive and negative. Ever running towards the right and from the wrong with no idea that you're doing it. Always wanting to get it right so you don't get in trouble. Whose fucking right was that you were measuring that against? Joe, and I might be wrong, but it looks to me like you're breathing. Are you breathing? Are you're on here actually breathing with me? Oh my God. Now, being that I could easily do a 4-hour session on good, bad, right, wrong, better, worse, best, worst, and positive, negative, know that I am really flying through this, and know that I wouldn't take a minute on something that I didn't see was going to be a potential key and benefit to you. Deal? Deal? You may not get it. You may not get it yet. Just stay curious and breathe and let it. Rich, I got your message about the mapacho. I'll hook you up, man. And anybody else that's curious. The belief in good and bad and right and wrong was foisted upon you by a bony finger of authority pointing down at you. And you bought that shit out of self-defense. Everybody breathe deep. I hadn't done this for a while, and I'm just gonna go for it. Bonus session. I do what the hell I want, right? Right, Crystal? Tell them. So check this out. There you were, minding your own business, having a good time, playing, following your inspiration and doing what you felt to do. And somebody came to you, a priest, a preacher, a mom, a dad, a principal, a teacher. Somebody came to you and said, you know right from wrong, and you did wrong. Now you know right, and you know wrong, don't you? Didn't they? Didn't they? Didn't you have? Didn't something like that happen at some point? Remember? And I'm proposing to you that I can read your mind and I know what you thought in that moment. Is anybody checking out, or are you with me? This is important, because in that moment, here's what you thought. Oh shit. I don't know what you're talking about with this right or wrong. I don't know. I don't have any idea what you're talking about. Truth be told, I don't think you know what the fuck you're talking about. But I can tell that you believe you do, and I can tell that you're trying to imply that I should know, and I can also tell that if I say that I don't know, you're going to kick my fucking ass. So yeah, I was wrong. I know right from wrong. I do. How accurate is that? How accurate is that? Something like that? Remember? And ever since then, you've been pretending to know right from wrong under penalty of the bony finger of fucking death. Oh, it's some profound shit, ain't it? Who knew? Who knew? And I've been living my damn life pretending to know right from wrong ever since, and playing the game with everybody else. God damn, let me not have a kid or I'll do that to them. I will pass the right and wrong virus right on to my offspring. And you better get it right or you're going to hell, bitches. The stakes are small. And you live the rest of your life in a panic, not knowing it. Every cell in your body, terror of getting it wrong. What if they see, did I do that wrong? with sushi, am I supposed to put the whole piece of the roll in my mouth, or do is it okay to bite it? Or there's Japanese people at that other table. Fuck, let me watch them. They'll know. What if they're from the wrong side of the tracks in Japan, and what if they do it wrong and I learned the way that they eat? Oh, fuck, I can't win. A little too close to home, ain't it? Full Windsor or half Windsor? Which one is gonna? What? I don't know which way to tie this. Listen to me. Everybody else is pretending to know too. Everybody else is just pretending to know. They don't fucking know either. There's not a right way to eat the goddamn sushi. Stuff it in your fucking face and eat it. I've got titanium chopsticks. Should I go with the traditional bamboo, or is the fuck is the little fork for the salad? I don't know. Shit, I don't remember. God, they're gonna look at me. Now I'm joking, and I'm so not. And everybody except for the ones who are really trained to be cool, you guys are all into this. You're all like, yeah, damn, oh my God. You cool ones are like, he's going to get to the good shit eventually. I'll just sit here and frown. He'll bypass all this nonsense. This ain't, no. It's the good shit right here. I dare you before you go to bed tonight, unless it's midnight where you are. Oh, fuck it, do it anyway. Before you go to bed tonight, go to a restaurant and use the wrong fucking fork. Publicly. If there's a sushi place nearby, use your fingers and show the fucking sushi chef. Yeah, that's right. Pull the fish out and do it. Listen, I'm serious. Do it for yourself. In the next 24 hours, do something wrong or the way that you think might be wrong, and don't give a fuck. And watch the liberation. Watch the liberation. Tim Ferriss in 4-Hour Work Week recommends that you go to a Starbucks, find a place where you're not going to trip anybody, and just kick back on the floor and read a book. Give yourself 15 or 20 minutes of that. No shit. Can you, everybody close your eyes for just 1 minute. Just for 1 minute. I want you to really be honest about how much you've been trying to get it right. Just for 1 minute, be curious. What are some of the ways I've been trying to get it right? Please don't skim past this. Take that minute. What are some of the ways I've been trying to get it right? When you're watching the replay, I expect you to write some of them down. If I suck my gut in, I'll be more acceptable. I can't do that breathing. Because if I breathe like that, they're going to see my gut projecting beyond my belt buckle. Then I'm not cool, and then I'll never be liked. Come on now, at work, trying to fit in with the rest of them. Anybody getting any? Anybody getting? Well, that sounded funny. I will ask that question later anyway. Hope you're getting some if you want to. But anyway. Oh, I now see a couple people right now are actually having the little sighs of, I can see the relief on your face as you exhale. Do that again. Do that again. Fuck it. Go to a fancy restaurant, eat with your fingers. 2 out of 10 people will look at you with disdain because they took all that time learning how to do it right. And look at you. 3 out of 10 will toss their fork aside and join you, especially if you're confident and you don't just do it for the first 10 seconds, then revert to the right fork. Release all definitions of right and wrong, good and bad, better and worse, best and worst, and the good old spiritual classic, positive and negative, because you never did have a fucking clue what any of them meant. You didn't. I'm sorry. You didn't. Please don't bullshit yourself anymore. Anybody want to correct me and tell me what's right? Because I would love to hear it. If I make just end the whole program today. Would let you take over. If anybody can tell me what's right, but it's going to have to be accurate. Oh, I knew it was going to be her. Okay, there it is. It's right for us all to worship Natalie. It had to be that. Yes. Okay. In your universe, I accept that possibility. Fortunately, I'm in my universe. Now, if anybody's listening to me partially, I just really wasted my time. Maybe you got to laugh. Maybe you got to smile. If anybody's really, really listening, you just got something that you can use to change your life more than you imagine. I promise you. Anybody feel, you might or might not want to raise your hand. Anybody feel like you are overweight at all? Anybody? Anybody feel like you're overweight at all? Anybody feel like you're overweight? Anybody? Okay. Listen. I got a secret for you. You're exactly the weight you are. You're not over it. You're not over the weight you're at. You're exactly the weight you are. You're not underweight. You're not overweight. You weigh what you weigh. Anybody ever feel shy or uncomfortable leaving the house? Anybody ever feel uncomfortable in any way, shape, or form, or wearing that thing that, you know, anybody ever? Anybody ever pull their gut in a tiny little bit when they're, you know? Listen, when I'm in a restaurant, I sit down, I unsnap my fucking pants. I don't take them off. Some of us, well, I mean, pants are fucking weird anyway. Who came up with that shit? But some pants, when you're standing up, they fit good, right? And when you sit down, they squeeze in on stuff that ought not be squeezed in on. And who were you actually worried about? Who was there nearby that was going to be like, oh no, their belly is past their belt. Fuck! Who was it? Who was thinking that? Everybody. No, that's right. You were thinking it. I dare you. The next 3 times you leave the house, push your belly out a little bit. I dare you. You won't believe how fucking unbelievable you feel afterwards. You're like, well, damn, I didn't die. Shit, I was sure I would. Anybody only take selfies when the light's just right? Don't see those wrinkles? Anybody only take selfies when the light's just right? You look up at the light. You look up at the light. And if you turn just this way, because you know your best side. Do you know you're poisoning yourself every time you do that? You're telling yourself that you're not okay. Ugly motherfucker, right? Ugly. Some of you were a kid. Somebody told you were ugly. And you were like, oh, I'll buy that. You know that ugly and beautiful don't exist any more than right and wrong and positive and negative? Listen, I'm sorry. Everybody uses it. Oh, it is so beautiful. And everybody agrees. Oh, so you mean you like the way that looks? Is that a subtle little tiny distinction, or does that change everything? That is beautiful compared to I like the way that looks. I enjoy looking at that. God, that's an eyesore. Really? Let me see. No, I don't see anything in your eye at all. I don't see any sores there. Oh, your butt's too little. You should have that corrective surgery. Who according to whose standard? Last piece of the word thing. Please don't worry about my ego. I don't care. Anybody get anything out of this? But be honest. And if you got a lot out of it, raise your hand high. Like, I really want to see who did, because some did, some are like way beyond this. Okay. Ain't nobody beyond this, by the way. I don't normally recommend dieting. I'm going to recommend a diet, though. Ready? Here's the terms. I recommend a 30-day diet from can't, should and shouldn't, have to, got to, must. And along the way, you're going to find some very closely related words. I recommend a 30-day diet from those. Now, you've heard that from positive thinking fuckers, haven't you? But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about refuse to allow those words to come out of your mouth. They won't come up into your mind as much, and you'll actually find out what you really think and mean and want. Because every time you let the steam escape through the path of least resistance of your mouth hole, unconsciously spouting the same brain dead shit that push the button, boom, push the button, boom, push the button, boom. Everybody relax your shoulders a little bit, especially you. Everybody breathe a little deeper. Go on a diet, 30 days. Should, shouldn't, can't, have to, must, got to. Well, I have to go to work. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You can let them repo the car in the house. But you don't have to go to work. You don't have to go to work. You're choosing to go to work because of what you prefer. Anybody got something they need to do? Anybody want to try me on here? You need to breathe? No, you don't. Only if you want to stay alive in a body. Only if you want to stay alive in a body. So I'm choosing to breathe being that I want to stay alive in my body. Now, what did Brian? That's semantics. No, it is not. No, it is not. Because all those shoulds and all those got tos and musts are tied directly to you being responsible and knowing right and wrong. Quick check-in, Nicholas. How much of this is for you? Happens every time. Every time I got somebody here working with me, every single time. Right, Mira? Every time somebody's here, and I say, just trust. I'm not pulling away from my work with you. We're going to do it in a group, and I'm working with you. All right. Now, next topic. Everybody doing all right? Anybody need to stretch or step up or move the butt for a second? Whatever for you to be awake and alert, because I know the fire hydrant of Brian is coming full blast here. I know that. Hey, man, would you do me a big favor? Mm-hmm. Mucho. Thank you. See how I treat my clients? At least I didn't tell him he should get me some water. Okay. Y'all ready for the next topic? Everybody all right? You want to end the session and we'll just, anybody had enough and maybe we should just go to the next session and get, no? No? Thank you, sir. Okay. Next topic. I don't know how in the fuck we got here. Do you? I mean, really? Let's be honest. You thought you were a meat suit that came out through some meat suit's pussy with the help of some dick. I don't know, and you don't know. Now, ultimately, though, we know because we did it. Ryan, that's so crude. Oh, might release that word. You breathing? So, energy is, and every creation myth is, guess what? A myth. Every creation myth is a myth. However, to describe what is and how we got here, it requires a creation myth. You're just ain't nobody going to explain it. So the creation myth, the level 5 creation myth, infinite unlimited being dwells in eternity infinite love, joy, peace, gets bored as hell, decides it wants to have an experience, projects into eternity, projects out of eternity into the illusion of time and space, making time and space. And in order to do that, has to create a convincing seeming universe in which to limit infinite possibilities into finite experience. You find a better way to explain it that works and explains it more completely and actually helps people live the life they want, I'll drop mine and pick up yours. Until then, I ain't seen nothing to work as solid as this one. As are you, which is why you're here sitting with me. Projecting out of eternity into the illusion of time and space, creating the illusion of time and space. Hang on, somebody's at my door. Okay. Projecting out of eternity, creating the illusion of time and space. This light projects out of eternity into time and space. At the eternal level, nothing is changed. Infinite possibilities, infinite potential, love, joy, peace, forever. Timeless. Nothing changes. Projecting here into this illusion of time and space, the universe. And at the center of the universe, me. And at the center of your universe, you. My favorite joke on this one is, whenever you were little and they looked at you and said, who do you think you are, the center of the universe? The fuck's it look like? Hello, here I is, center of the universe. And I honor that so are you in yours. You're the center of yours. It's all right. Get over it. Now, what's projecting out of eternity into time and space is energy, light, love, synonymous, abundance. It's inexhaustible. And you shape it into hell. You shape it into whatever you've been experiencing based on what you came in to experience. Now, it's kind of like this. Everything that you experience that you call your universe is only the reflection and the projection of everything you think and believe that you know, the vast majority of which is hidden from you by you in your unconscious or subconscious areas. And a lot of that is tangled up with anger, sadness, and fear, frozen emotions. You've heard me say this before, right? Starts to sink in. One of these days you're going to go, oh shit, I actually heard what he just said. He said it 42 times, but oh shit, I think I'm starting to get it. And when you get it past here, you get it down in here, it starts to make the difference. So in a way, then you could say that everything that you perceive to be things, including your body, is infinite, unlimited energy, which has condensed into seeming form. Yeah? Yeah, kind of. Anybody got that a little bit? Yeah. Okay, so then we find out about, through quantum physics, the observer effect. When you pay attention to matter, it changes. Now, it's really weird. Everything in the entire universe is made up of subatomic, non-physical stuff. And most of the quantum physicists still say, well, the observer effect works at the quantum level, but we don't know if it actually works at the physical. Everything in the physical is the damn quantum. Hello. But if they were to say that, they might be, they would no longer be scientists. They'd be weirdos like me. Using the wrong fucking fork. Eating sushi with their fingers. Horror of horrors. So, when you let it in, then, that all the thing that you think is a physical universe is actually infinite, unlimited energy possibilities condensed into temporary seeming solidity. Everybody's kind of got that. Don't come on. We're a bunch of spiritual fucks. We all kind of got that, don't we? Sorta. Anybody not got it? Are you ignoring me? Or yeah? Who kind of got or agrees or completely agrees that all that we call physical reality is actually infinite, unlimited energy, infinite possibilities, temporarily, seemingly condensed into form. Yeah? Okay. Whew. God, man. So it's kind of like this. If you want to make something different, you got to stop making what you done been made. Because on that topic, in that area, you've already condensed the infinite possibilities into the shit you know. So I came up with this really fun analogy. We'll see if you think it's fun. So you go, you have money. You have money. You have a bank account and you have money in it. And you like to go to the casino. So you go to the casino and you take some of your money and you buy casino chips. Okay? Anybody know how that works? Now you got those casino chips. And now here you are, you're walking around with your casino chips and you get so hooked in the casino, you forget about life outside. And you start to get thirsty and you can't get any water because they don't trade water for casino chips. You would have to convert some of your casino chips back into money in order to go buy you a water. You know what I mean? Makes weird sense. It'll make more sense in a minute. Those of you that aren't nodding, would the person beside you, if you're sitting in this video thing and you see someone beside you not nodding when I ask those questions, would you just pop them on the side of the head? Just reach across right through them. Pop them on the side of the head. Get them to nod so I feel better. I know you're interacting with me. All right. Be gentle. I don't mean don't hurt anybody. Thank you for trying, Rich. But see, Veronica's actually nodding. So for me, that doesn't work. Sorry, it's a bad idea. All right. So you have invested your chips, your infinite, unlimited resources into the reality that you're experiencing right now. If you want something different to show up, you're going to have to cash in some of your chips. How do you do that? Quit knowing what you know, because what you're getting is only the reflection, the projection of everything you think and believe that you know, showing up in seeming physical form. But Brian, tell me again, how do I cash in my chips? Quit knowing. How do you quit knowing? Well, the best way to not know is to ask a different question. Ask a question that presupposes that you don't know. So, Brian, could you give me an example? Well, by gosh, I'm so glad you asked. So, if you know what your bank account is, and you know that it's been below the number you prefer, sometimes below fucking zero. That's definitely not the number you prefer. But if the number in your bank account has been chronically and consistently below the number that you prefer. Yeah? Anybody? I mean, shit, you could have $1 million in the bank and still it's below the number you prefer. And you know that, don't you? You know it a little too goddamn well. Let's be honest. You know it so well that it just keeps happening the next day and the next day and the next day. So, literally, seriously, if you were to sit and ask, anybody experience the quantum question stuff that I do? Anybody? Okay. So it's in the conscious creation program. I go deep into it. We're going to do some of it here. Every question is in a way a quantum question, but not every question is a serving quantum question. You're asking questions all the fucking time. Why is my bank account so shitty? Why does my bank account stay so fucking low? Why is it no matter what I do, I can't get ahead? Why is the amount of money that I have just constantly dwindling and dwindling? Why isn't I? Talking to you. Be honest about how often you find yourself thinking that way now. Watch this. You ready? Ready? Why is it that I'm so often surprised by how much money is in my bank account. Why is it that I'm so delighted to see my bank account deposits being made that I didn't even know? Why is it that people feel compelled to give money to me? Why is it that I always have the money that I need? Why is it that sometimes deposits show up in my PayPal like I wasn't even expecting it and money just shows up? Why is it that people are inspired to make offers to me and do deals with me that are so beneficial to me? Why? And see, every time you ask even one of those questions, you start to turn the tide. When you ask one after another before your mind can say that's bullshit. When you ask a question, your brain has this, and this is one of the secretest of secretfulness that everybody in fucking personal dev knows, and nobody's doing, and nobody's formulated how to really use it in a way that actually works ideally. And I'm proposing that I'm presenting it to you right now. When you, because the brain, we've all heard it, right? Rewire your brain. The brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and imagined. Right. Well, fucking help me do it. That's nice to hear. The brain doesn't know the difference between whether something's real or imagined because everything is fucking imagined in the first place. Those of you that are breathing and listening, all of you just smiled when I said that. The rest of you are like, I know he's on the way to making a point here. The reason why the brain doesn't know the difference between real and imagined is because everything is fucking imagined anyway. You are imagining the universe based on everything you think and believe that you know, and the universe is all infinite, non-physical potential showing up as what you know. Well, why not imagine it the way you prefer? Some of the time. You've been imagining that it's as shitty as it is, and you keep imagining questions to keep it that way. So if you said, why is it that I have more and more money? Don't go do no dumbass affirmation. I have $1 million in the bank. I have $1 million in the bank. I don't have a fucking million in the bank. I have $1 million in the bank. I hate myself for lying. I have $1 million. Don't do that shit. But if you ask a question, why is it that my bank account is literally climbing? Sometimes in ways that surprise me. Why is it that my bank account is actually irrelevant? Everything that I need always comes to me. Why is it that I finally let myself realize that I have everything that I need? I'm the source of everything that I need, and I am everything that I need. And why did I finally release all that resistance? And now things are coming to me more and more and more magically, more and more effortlessly. Be honest. Do you feel more the way you, not better or worse, do you feel more the way you want to feel when you think the way you've been thinking? Or do you feel more the way you want to feel when you think this way? And when you ask these questions, well, Brian, I feel better for a minute, but I don't know if my bank account is. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Side note related to the last thing about words. Remember, we're on a diet. We ain't got no better and worse. There ain't no feeling better. Because if you feel better, it's just a matter of time before you feel worse. And you better keep going or you'll get it wrong. And then, no, I feel more the way I prefer to feel. When I think this way, when I talk this way, when I ask these questions, I notice myself beginning to feel more the way that I prefer to feel. Oh, damn, what a difference. So, how do you cash in your casino chips that you willingly walked into casino? Ain't nothing wrong, ain't nothing bad with no casino. Is it what you prefer? You can cash those chips back out. You walk right up to the same cashier that you gave your credit card and they gave you the chips. You just go right back up to them and say, I will ask a different question now. I see some smiles. starting to happen. If you have been consistently and chronically thinking, that amount of money that I have is constantly dwindling. Look at it dwindling. Look how it's going. Every time you put money in, you go, oh, fuck, look, it's going down. Oh, God, as soon as I pay that, it's going down again. Right? You know. Yeah. You enjoy that feeling? What the fuck are you doing it for? Because that's what you learn, and that's the habit that you've had, and that's how you frame it. But what if you stop for even 1 minute and realize, wait, I'm the one who framed that shit that way. I'm the one who's been framing it that way. Every time I look at it, I could think differently. I could think, oh my God, I'm so fucking grateful I have the money to pay this bill. I am so grateful that I have the money to pay this, and I so enjoyed that electrical usage that I had for the month that I'm sending this check in or clicking to pay this. And why is it that I'm so grateful having the money to pay this? And why is it that in the moments when I find myself without the money to pay it, I just remember that I had money before, and I say, there's more where that came from. Why am I so consistently remembering moment by moment? There's more where that came from. There's more where that came. Why am I remembering that on a daily basis? Why is it that I'm beginning to automatically find myself thinking, there's more where that came from. There's more where that came from. Every time I put any money out, well, it came from somewhere. There's more where that came from. Why is it I'm choosing to focus more? Why are y'all smiling right now? There's more where that came from. Every time that anyone says yes and hands me money, there's more where that came from. Hell, there's psychopaths in Washington printing more right fucking now. There's more where that came from. There's more where that came from. Well, I just don't. If I was to go out there to do the work with Brian, I want to, but I just don't know where the money would come from. How many times have you thought that thought? How many times? I just can't see it. I just can't see it being a possibility right now. How many times have you thought that shit? Well, I'd like to, but I just don't know how I would do. That's your mom's bullshit. That ain't even your bullshit. And it wasn't even your mom's bullshit. She got it from somebody else. Oh, all you motherfucking success coaches. Oh, yeah, I said it. I need to let that shit go. I get to let that shit go. So, all you success coaches, what if you realize there's no such thing as success and failure? Are you financial advisors? You better be making peace with money and be happy about it and letting it flow. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Moving towards wrapping this up. I have a bunch of homework for you. But since we're conscious, infinite, unlimited beings, it's actually home play. Now, I'm really, 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 really serious about what I'm about to say. Every one of us, and I used to be the chief, in the tribe of people who say they want freedom and they know they're not going to be able to get themselves to do the thing that would make the difference. I used to be the chief in that tribe. So don't even try to outdo me. If everybody that works with me did what Andrea does, Andrea does what I teach more than I do, for God's sake, okay? And I do it a lot. Those of you that have come out and spent days with me, you can all nod. I actually do what I say, don't I? I actually live the way it's weird, like a guru that does what he says. What the fuck is that? That's not even legal. And right now, probably Andrea lives it. No, he's just praising Andrea because he likes the color of her hair. No, listen to me. I'm telling you, I watch and I listen, and so far, I've never seen anybody live it and practice it on the level that Andrea does. And let that woman talk to you about her results sometime. Anybody, if you ever feel down, now, Andrea, I'm not like trying to push everybody on you, but you reach out to Andrea and just say, Andrea, would you have a 10 or 15-minute conversation? Or one of these days, if you guys want to, just like kind of check on me behind my back. I welcome it at any time. You guys say, listen, could we do like a little group meeting and Andrea just like tell us? Because so far, of all the people I have worked with in the last several years, probably Andrea is living it and practicing it and staying with it, from the breath to watching the videos to doing the practices, and the fruits that are showing up in her life minute by minute, by hour, by day. I'm telling you, mind blowing. So when you're doubting, it's great to have a reminder. Yeah. What a wonderful thing. If you don't do what I'm about to suggest to you between now and the next session, you're kind of wasting your time being in the program. Kind of. I mean, yeah, we're having fun here. And, everybody's getting whatever they're getting. And yeah, there's been some insights today, blah, 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 blah. And yet, if you actually do the stuff, somehow it works better. I don't know. I can't explain it. Well, Brian, right when you say that, I just get that sick feeling because I almost never do the things that I know will work. Right? It's okay to be honest. I was the chief. Please don't be like embarrassed or be hard on yourself. Ain't nobody in this program doing all this stuff at the level they actually could be doing it, including me. If that helps you to feel a little bit more relief. So here's what I'm going to recommend that you do, because next week we're going to do something that's going to be so redonkulously powerful if you've done this that I'm about to give you. Side note, I'm gonna make a deal with you that when I'm done with this session, I'm getting focused with Nicholas. We're gonna have some lunch. I promise you, I will put this replay up as quickly as I possibly can. It's my time. It's 1:11 p.m. right now. It'll be up this afternoon Hawaii time. It'll be up tonight for you, or whatever. Okay. I'm gonna recommend. We're like roughly 2 hours and 7 minutes in right now, so just make a mental note of that. First time you watch this replay, access it as quickly as you can tonight, tomorrow. Go to around the 2 hour mark, get to this point, and get to this so you can take these notes and act on it immediately, okay? You're going to grab your journal and some type of writing instrument. I don't recommend that you type this. Those stubborn fucks who just have to, that's fine, do it. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to write down what my life is really like right now. This is kind of like the orientation assessment in my book. It's a little different. You're going to write down the categories or realms of life the way you see it. And I'm going to give you a basic guideline. Don't worry about getting it right or wrong. And if your mind says, well, I just want to make sure that you don't need that. That's your old way of trying to get it right so you prevent yourself from actually doing it in case you get it wrong and be in trouble. You can't be in trouble. You're going to write down what your life is like, and you're going to write your realms of life, the way you see life. And what I mean by realms of life: health, symptoms you're noticing, strength or weakness that you're noticing in your body, weight, eating habits, how like if you feel that you are overweight, if you feel you're underweight, if you whatever, notice, okay, be honest. I've been noticing that fucking sometimes when I feel sad, I eat a 5-pound tub of ice cream, sitting in the dark by myself, listening to codependent misery songs. Write that shit down. Get it out on paper. Relationships. Be honest. And with a little bit of inquiry, what am I doing here? I'm writing down what life is like now for me. You'll do some writing, and then later you'll go for a walk or take a pee or take a shower or something. You're going to, oh, fuck, oh, man. And you're going to go write that down. You want to write the most complete picture that you can of what life is like right now. Financially, health-wise, business-wise, how fulfilled are you with your work, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The place you live, how you feel about the residence you live in, the people around you, the friendships you have, the people you've been choosing to spend your time with. Now, I'm blurring it together as I'm talking because I've never been that organized. I'm not trying to be organized. I'm giving you organize it when you're writing it down. You do want to end up, and if you write it out as a big 18-page brain dump, then categorize it. Okay. Now, this all falls under the health page. This all falls under the weight page, which is kind of related to health. This falls under the money, business, success, how I feel about my career. I fucking wake up in the morning dreading to go to that stupid fucking place where I work with those fucking closed-minded assholes that treat me like shit and bully me around. You want to be unconscious. You want to get it all out on paper. And you want to really have the most complete global look at what life is like now. Okay? The more detail you go into and the more you just honor yourself to do this, so that by the time we come to the next session, you're thoroughly fucking miserably aware and awesomely aware. I'm joking and I'm not. Of how everything really is, all your hypocrisy. Let some of it come to light. Nobody's going to blame you or judge you unless you do, and I'm already helping you judge less. Okay? Your hypocrisy. The way that when you're trying to bullshit people about your vision and your mission, and you're trying to sell people on things and you know you're not actually doing it yourself. Be honest. Get that shit out. The more complete you are getting all this shit out on paper and really looking at it, the more you're going to be prepared for the outrageously ridiculous awesomeness that we're going to do next week. I'm telling you, you are packing your suitcase for paradise. And you're also investing magical ways that you don't know by how much effort and energy and love you will put into this. You have my promise that what we're going to, that's going to help you more than you imagine. Just becoming aware of all these things. You're making the implicit explicit. You're making that which you've been hiding. Wait. This almost ties to that thing Brian was saying. Wait. What you call the universe is everything you think and believe that you know, reflected and projected all around you and in you, and it's actually all you. And most of that is hidden from you by you in the unconscious and subconscious areas. We're putting a light in, and aiming it around in those things. And the more you do that and you realize nobody's going to judge you, nobody's going to make fun of you, nobody's going to ever see this unless you want them to. And when I'm done with you on this, you actually won't even care if anybody was to see it. Even if while you're writing, you're like, fuck, I'm going to be sleeping on this shit. No one's going to read this. And if you feel that way, I wouldn't want to write that down because someone in my house would read it. Oh, you know you're on to something. The shit you wouldn't want anybody to know? Oh, there your treasure lies, baby. Got it? Watch the breathing videos. Do the questioning. Don't worry about getting it right. Do the questioning that I share with you. Go back to the replay. Go to that right down. At minute 1 hour and 12 minutes. I don't fucking know, but I'm just saying. That's when Brian did that question thing. I'm just going to write those questions down. I'll just ask those again and again and again. Good enough. It's better than what I've been asking. Wait, no, it isn't better. It's more in line with what I prefer. Ooh, I'm catching on. Pat myself on the back. And you're going to come to the next session more circumspectly aware than you ever have been. Now, how could that be a bad thing when there's no bad? You will have some things come to light because you're bringing the light to some things. Breathe deep while you're doing it. And then go take a 15-minute dump or sit in the bathtub. Don't take a dump in the bathtub. That usually doesn't end well. Get in the tub and turn some nice warm water on and sit under the shower. 10, 15 minutes. And just relax and turn your brain off and expect, oh, some other things will come up for me to write down. Every time you go for a walk this week, every time you sit, every time you're driving, man, have that journal right there. So you can write down what life is like now. All the good and the bad and all that stuff. Okay? If you find yourself, if you're one of those people, if you've been one of those people that always waits and crams, we're going to spend the last 10 minutes before next session. Right, Pam? So be it. You'll get less out of this than you could have. I could go more. I'm going to wrap it there. Everybody got it? Now, I'm going to open up Q&A. However, once again, listen to me. Don't ask the question that you don't really mean or that you don't really want a real answer to. Okay, this ain't that kind of Q&A. Oh, this is the Q&A. I get to do the look at me and ask a question. No. If you ain't got a question, don't ask one. And if you really got a question about anything I covered last week or this week, you really got a question and you really want the answer, ask me. Please, if you will, signal me. Okay, Erica, unmute.
Hi.
Hey.
Thanks for this. And my question is about the homework. And writing, I just kind of feel like writing from where my life currently is isn't that giving the focus to how my life currently is?
Temporarily it is, but don't believe the motherfuckers who tell you that it's not okay to look at how your life is for a minute. Quit listening to them. Okay, so listen, here's, you can ask more if you have it. Just consider this for a minute. So you get in your car and you've been listening to Abraham for a while, so you break all your mirrors off. I'm not going to look at what was. I don't need those fucking mirrors. Now, that's not really exactly what Abraham's saying. However, a lot of people take it that way, and I don't want to give any energy. Oh, no, honey, you're giving energy to that shit 24/7. You ain't going to give it no more energy than you've been giving it. What you're doing is you're actually finding out what the fuck you've been giving your energy to.
Yes.
There's a lot of people really glad you asked that question. I'm going to tell you right now. There's several people that are like, ooh, I'm so glad I didn't want to ask that.
And last piece with that same like tangent is I've been starting to feel more like detached from all of the stuff. So I think that I've kind of gone into the whole romantic idea of like, oh, just feeling into that expansion and that like effortless. I'm not even using the languaging and really being fully present, practicing the breath and doing that. It's just kind of like, well, I'd rather be there and not put my energy into looking at the things that I'm shifting away from. But you just answered it. So
yeah, and let me add just a speck of more clarity to this. So everything that you experience is you already. And a lot of it, though, you're unconsciously flowing your energy into it constantly. Becoming aware of what you've been flowing your energy into is not actually a detrimental action. It really actually will give, okay, so if you were to find out, fuck, my foot hurts. Ow, my foot hurts. Let me see. Why does my foot hurt? Oh my God, I'm standing on a nail. No, I don't want to look at that. I'm going to be positive. I don't have any pain. No, become aware that you're fucking standing on a nail and you keep doing your little salsa move, pushing that foot down. Okay, so then you are more armed. Oh, I understand. I didn't know quite where that was coming from. Now, you don't always have to know where everything's coming from in order to stop. Sometimes it is helpful to become aware of some things. And that's all we're doing here. This is our one big ass glance in the rearview mirror. Okay?
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who else? Julio. What you got, buddy?
Well, today, at the start of the session, you talk about forgiveness, about the people that we don't like the most. Okay?
Yeah.
And today, my boss start a fight with other bosses, and then left work, and then the other two bosses asked me to go to their room and talk, and I felt totally uncomfortable because I felt like I was betrayed the trust of my first boss.
All right, pause right there.
Yeah.
Now, this is a little more than a speck of spell break. Yeah. Okay, and this is super important for everybody. I would be doing a disservice if I didn't say this. So you started to tell me why you felt uncomfortable.
Yes.
And everybody get this. I actually, because I've been working with more and more advanced groups over the last couple of years, I actually haven't said this for a while. Everything that ever follows the word because, when we're talking about why our feelings, every word that follows because is going to be bullshit. Every word that follows because is going to be bullshit. Every single word that follows because is going to be bullshit. So I hear you, Julio. You know me and I know you. We love each other. It's all good. some of these people are like, wait, he's being very harsh with Julio. No, we both know. So I'm just reminding you, you may or may not really know exactly why you felt uncomfortable. But what you do know is that you felt uncomfortable, and you're telling me you perceived in a way there might have been some, like, we're going into betrayal or right? Okay, so continue.
Okay. And I talk and I try to, and I try.
Okay. Yes, you did try, didn't you? Oh, out here.
Okay. Well, up until now, in the past, when I find myself in situation like mom and dad are fighting each other,
Pause right there. Did everybody notice how he went from, he put it in the past for about a fifth of a second, then he brought it right back into the present? You guys notice that? Up until now, when they are, nope. Up until now, when they were. If you're going to put it in the past, you want to keep it in the past so you can stay present. Okay. And you want to stay present so you can keep it in the past. And what you're really telling me right now, Julio, more than anything else, is that the little boy inside of you still feels scared and sad about mom and dad yelling at each other. And you are not the only one. So feel that first. Feel you're sitting there. You're either in your bed at night and they're yelling in the other room at night. You hear what they're talking. You partly understand, and part of it you don't even understand. Is he going to kill her? Is she going to kill him? You don't feel safe. You feel that. You move through that. Okay. And until then, you're going to have bosses at work try to drag you into their shit so that you can feel what you haven't felt yet. So, yeah, next.
So, I always do my best to be neutral and not take part of these fights. And it happened in the past, up until now, a few times that at the end of the what happened, I was accused to not taking part of not taking one of the sides, and I received blame to me in the past, and I fear that. I fear that is fear, clearly, but I fear that it will happen again.
It will, as long as that fear. Now listen, everybody, you know I'm talking to you, right? You know I'm talking to you. Or if there's any doubt whatsoever, oh, he's working with Julio. Bullshit. Listen to me. This Julio right now is doing this monumental gift for everybody. Okay? Now, Julio, you're right that it will happen again and again and again and again forever until you handle the fear. The minute you have felt that fear completely and breathed all the way to the other side of it, you will no longer project out into your seeming universe, because your universe is everything that you think and believe that you know, much of which is hidden from you by you. And a lot of that is tangled up with frozen anger and sadness and fear that keeps that shit in play. So hidden from you is some of your power, some of your resources, some of your clarity, and that fear inside of you is in effect. This is not absolutely perfectly languaged, but close to damn enough. That fear in you, fear of people fighting and me being blamed and getting in trouble. Who else has some of that? Hello? Okay, so the fear you have of it is emanating out into the world, which isn't out, and causing people who aren't people to show up and give you this opportunity to feel this feeling. And you keep trying other things. Oh, diggity damn. There's a couple people going, oh my God, this is me. Okay. So, Julio, close your eyes, man. He's like, fuck you, Brian. You said no spell breaks today. Fuck you. You are doing a spell break today. So, feel it, Julio, and feel them sitting there telling you, oh, and they're trying to get you to side, and they're accusing you of not siding up. I mean, I'll tell you what, if anybody's going to ever accuse me of anything, accuse me of not siding up. I will agree with you. Okay, so, but it's okay because you, as a little boy, you didn't have that level of reasoning and balance and centeredness to look at your mom and then say, crazy fucks, I'm not siding up with anybody. You're both full of shit. Let's go listen to Brian and get through this. You didn't have that option when you were 3 and 4 or 5, okay? So you do now. So breathe and feel the fear of getting in trouble. Feel the fear of getting in trouble. And I want you to notice when you feel that fear of getting in trouble at work. I'm afraid of getting in trouble at work. Anybody, if you don't have your eyes closed, if you're not feeling your fear of getting in trouble, you're missing an opportunity here. Feel your fear of getting in trouble. Now, Julio, in your case, it's a fear of getting in trouble because I didn't. Now, but you feel that and feel that fear of getting in trouble. And now I want you to feel being that little boy with mom and dad yelling. And you're going to notice, lo and behold, wonder of wonders, it's actually the exact same feeling. It's fear. It isn't fear of getting in trouble. It's fear. I just thought it was. And if I'm thinking it's fear of X, then I'm not feeling, I'm thinking. And I'm not going to get through it by thinking. I'm going to get through a feeling by feeling. So I want you to feel that fear. And where in your body do you feel the strongest sensation right now? So touch that place where you feel the strongest sensation. And breathe into that sensation and give that place 100% of your attention and awareness right now. Maybe words come up, maybe thoughts come up, maybe memories flash through, doesn't matter. You're focused on feeling the sensation and breathing. And with those larger than usual inhales, more emotion than usual can float out on the exhales. Fear of being in trouble is just fear. It's about not being safe. I perceive that I'm unsafe. I'm feeling fear. The story is that it's about this or that. Nothing wrong with the story. It's just that focusing there won't give you the ability to change it. You're aiming in an area where you can't change it, but now you're aiming where you can. And you hear what they might say to you, that you focus on that sensation. Breathe in deep, big inhales. Everybody check your spine, lift your head up nice and high. If you were leaning forward and squishing your diaphragm where it couldn't fully travel, maybe. Big inhales. And I'll be the one to tell you, you're actually safe. And I honor the part that feels unsafe. So let yourself feel the unsafety. So what's going on for you right now, Julio? Don't come out of it if you're still in it. Just tell me what's going on.
It's diminishing.
Diminishing. Perfect. So you know exactly what to do by now. So you feel it with everything that you've got. You go into the physical sensation. You breathe deep. And what you're doing right now is you're tapping into the little boy, that little boy who's been carrying that fear around this whole time. And you've been trying and trying and trying and trying to figure it out and solve it and make it go away. And all he wanted to do was for you to feel the fear so that he could re-emerge with you and bring all his intelligence and awareness and memories and power and ability back to join you. And you were holding him away from you. Now you're not. All those young ones coming out. You think they're yawns? Nope. That old energy's coming right out on those exhales. Coughs and yawns and shivers and have some mucus come up to be coughed out or sneezed out. All those unprocessed emotions that have been bumping around in there for all this time, all that fear, ever since that night that mom and dad were screaming at each other in the other room. And I literally thought I was going to die. The house was going to come apart. They were going to kill each other. I couldn't sleep. Smooth that breath out. Big inhales. Living my life trying to get it right so that I never have to feel that shit again. While life keeps bringing me opportunities to feel it and I keep saying no to it. And carrying it for another year. You never knew you were carrying all that emotion around inside of you from that all this time. Wondering why you didn't have peace in all those other areas. Wondering why all those relationships always turned that way. You had no idea why. A lifetime of not feeling safe in relationships, always knowing it's just a matter of time before. While you're breathing, just reflect for even a second. Wait a minute, every fucking relationship I've been in, there was that fear, like right there on the edge, just the whole time. Oh, eventually he's going to turn like the other ones did. It's just a matter of time before they show their true colors. I know how it goes. So we're so on the lookout for it that we're seeing it where it ain't. And we're so avoiding it that we don't see it where it is. But by breathing deep enough to let that emotion move out, you never need to recreate that circumstance to feel it ever again. And the guys say, come into my office. And I say, sure, do you feel like I can help? And they try to get you to side up. And you say, I'm going to be completely direct and frank with you. I no longer side up with anyone on anything. At this moment, I'm seeing both sides, and I feel like there's something for you two to resolve. And if I can help, I will. But I'm perceiving right now that you're both missing something. And the very fact that you're wanting to talk to me about it without them present lets me know not to express my opinion. With total respect. Keep breathing. One of the most powerful things you can ever do whenever anybody says any shit about anybody else to you, you say, wow, man, I bet you have a really good reason for telling me that. You know what? Let's just jump on a 3-way call with them right now and get this out in the open with love and honor and respect. And then the one who refuses to have the conversation, everybody involved knows who's clean. You know what I mean? The one who refuses that 3-way conversation, that was the tail. And guess what? They know it too. You don't have to say anything about, well, the fact that you won't get on a 3-way tells me what you. So what's going on in your body, Julio?
Well, it shifted a few times.
Yeah.
The position.
This is
And
related to multiple incidents. Go ahead.
And I follow the position with my hand.
Yeah. Beautiful. On staying with it, Julio. So, Julio, this has been a very long-running theme for you, and the work that we did when we came out a couple of years ago was very related to this. And you've moved layer after layer after incident after layer, and you're, quote, in a way, you're down to this now. You've gotten all that other stuff off and out to get to this central place. The fear in all those relationships, all those miscommunications with work, and all those uncertainties about your career stability, etc., was 100% unsafety about our crazy motherfucking parents and their instability. And we forgive them You realize, wow, I must have created them to have this. I mean, this theme's been running my whole life. Some level, I chose this. Some level, I wanted to get through this. Here you are getting through it. That one inside of you that didn't feel safe, that hasn't felt safe this whole time, just start to tell the little one, they're safe. They're safe. Those moments are not actually happening right now. You are safe. I understand what you felt. And I'm telling you, you were safe the whole time. And oh, I understand that you did not feel safe. So, Julio, if that sensation, I know it's moved around. If it was at 100% when we started, where is it right now?
Is a 30.
30. Okay. So, Julio, more than most, you know exactly what to do, and you don't need me for it right now. Okay. So I'm going to wrap the session. You stay with it. You know exactly what to do. I'm going to recommend you lay down, you give yourself a big hug, or you put your hands on your chest. Breathe deep. And as this sensation is diminishing, you speak to that little boy. Tell him you totally understand exactly what he felt. Invite him to merge with you. He's already doing it. You can just help it along. Everybody, you know this spell break was for you. That's Julia's just like, sorry, Brian. I do this today. So everybody, when we end the session, everybody give Julio a big hug across time and space, which doesn't exist because he's you. We'll just go out quietly. I will have the replay up ASAP. And I will see you next week.
Thank you.
Aloha.